welcome to the vlog. In the last vlog you saw me arriving at Hawkesbury Junction, and to be honest I wasn't really quite sure where I would go from there, but in the end, having received a couple of phone calls from good friends of mine that are further down south towards Milton Keynes, I decided just on a whim really to turn around and retrace my steps and make my way down to Milton Keynes. It was going to be a good idea for me to get down there, one because it would mean I could meet up with friends, spend a few days down there, but also I wanted to replace the leisure batteries on the boat. So having friends that are not too far from the canal down there, it meant I could have the batteries delivered to them and they could bring them to me wherever I happened to moor up, or as close as I could get. So it was really a good idea, and obviously although it means I'm retracing a fair bit of the cruising that I've already done, it's all experience, so yeah, it's a good thing. And as I say, I'm heading down towards Milton Keynes. Not sure how long it's going to take me, but hopefully you'll follow along with me. So I started my journey back by coming back through the Hawkesbury Junction lock, helped by a lady and two sons, which was really good. And then a little bit further along the canal I come back under the M69. It was really noisy, lots of traffic. So there's some beautiful views from the side of the canal, looking out across the countryside, but if you look at the sky, it's overcast. It's not particularly warm. You wonder if we're going to get any summer at all this year. So once again I'm finding myself on a narrow section of the canal, and quite shallow as well. In fact, on a few occasions I've struggled a little bit to get forward power because there's not much water underneath the boat. So I'm actually coming back down the Oxford Canal. The whole canal is about 126 kilometres, 78 miles long, but I'm on the North Oxford link, which goes between Braunston and Hawkesbury Junction. For about 15 years the Oxford Canal was the main artery between London and the Midlands until the Grand Union Canal was built. Actually it was then called the Grand Junction Canal, which was opened in 1805. The North Oxford Canal that I'm on was actually straightened in the 1830s and effectively shortened the link by about 11 miles. It was going to be 14, but they didn't need to do the whole thing because their competition that they were worried about never materialised. However, this North Oxford Canal section remained a vital link really up until the 1960s, carrying coal and other commodities. Okay, so I'm just coming up to Newbold Tunnel now, which is about 250 metres long, and it was built between 1829 and 1834 when the Oxford Canal Company tried to shorten the canal by about 14 miles to overcome some possible competition. In the end they only shortened it by 11 miles, but today it's become a familiar landmark around the Rugby area. So I got back to the service point in Rugby where there's some toilets which unfortunately were closed, but there's rubbish bins and a water point, so I managed to top up with water, which was a good thing, before I made my way further down towards Braunston. So I passed Clifton Cruises, which is a family-run business that was started back in, I think, 72, and they hire boats out for holidays, for weeks, weekends, etc, etc. They also have this amazing Canal lounge, which is like a coffee bar, and get something to eat right on the side of the canal, where it's quite popular with the gongoozlers. Gongoozlers are people that like to look out onto the narrowboats passing by. Bridge 66A. This is a Hillmorton Bridge. So I then came back to Hillmorton Locks, which normally there's some volunteers there. In fact, they've got their own website, because the Hillmorton Locks are officially the busiest locks on the complete network. So originally, when the Oxford Canal was first built, there were 3 locks at Hillmorton, but then after the canal was straightened back in the 1800s, it put a lot of pressure on the time taken to go through the locks, so they built another 3 locks running parallel to the original 3, so it means twice as many boats could go through.
Thank you, appreciate your help. Oh, it's going to be busy today. Yeah, it's quite a start.
And as I said, there's generally some volunteers there from the Canal and River Trust, and it's really good because, you know, being on your own, it's a lot easier when you get a little bit of help, and they're such friendly people there. It's really good, and they do a great job. So yeah, thanks to the volunteers, makes life a lot easier. The old lock mechanisms from years ago.
Thank you, appreciate your help. Thank you.
See that, but it's right, sunken narrowboat. It's right in the middle of the canal almost. Probably one of the worst places it could be. Such a shame. Right outside Hillmorton Wharf. Once again, some lovely forecast, and the fact that I set off in lovely sunshine, it's now become overcast and it's started to drizzle with rain. We definitely got the forecast wrong today. It's absolutely hammering it down with rain. Supposed to have been sunny periods and a light breeze today. There you go. So I'm waking up to a strange morning again after yesterday's forecast, which was to be for sun all day. I actually got soaked yesterday afternoon. But I woke up this morning, there's been sun, there's been cloud. It's quite overcast, as you can see from the clouds behind me. But it's supposed to be dry this morning with some rain this afternoon. So I'm hoping to get beyond Braunston today, or certainly by early afternoon. And if it does absolutely throw it down, which they say it could, I can moor up somewhere and keep a little dry today. Just coming up to Bridge 84, which is called the Fivers Bridge. Not too far from Braunston now. In fact, I think Bridge 90 is the last bridge that I go under just before Braunston, and I think I'm going to stop there. I'm going to moor up overnight. So I've just come to Braunston Junction. I've turned back onto the Grand Union south section, and I'm passing now, as you can see, the Boathouse pub. And I'm going to find a mooring, and who knows, I might even walk back to the pub for a drink later. We'll see. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this first part of my journey south, and you'll join me next time as I continue my cruise down towards Milton Keynes. And again, a huge thank you to all those that have subscribed and sent comments and hit the like button. Much appreciated. I'll see you on the next one.